You have a big day tomorrow. The most important meeting of your year, maybe, or a flight at 5 a.m., or an exam that determines everything. You lie down, you close your eyes, and your body refuses. Not just refuses, it fights you. Your heart picks up speed. Your thoughts start looping. Your legs won't stay still. The harder you try to fall asleep, the more awake you become, as if some part of you has decided that tonight, of all nights, sleep is the one thing it will not allow. And the cruelest part is this: you are exhausted, your body knows you need rest, and it is still doing this to you. Why? The answer is not laziness, it is not weakness. It is not even a modern problem. The answer is somewhere between 2 million years of evolution and one terrible design flaw that your ancestors never had to deal with because they were too busy surviving to lie awake thinking about it. Your brain has a threat detection system. It is called the amygdala, and it is one of the oldest structures in the human brain. When your amygdala senses danger, it fires a signal to your hypothalamus, which immediately activates what scientists call the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. That is a long name for a simple command: wake up and fight. Cortisol floods your bloodstream. Adrenaline sharpens your senses. Your heart rate climbs. Your muscles tighten. Blood moves away from your digestive system and toward your limbs. Your pupils dilate. Every non-essential process in your body gets shut down or slowed because your brain believes that right now, survival matters more than rest. That system kept your ancestors alive for 2 million years. There was a lion, or a rival tribe, or a storm rolling in. And the bodies that survived were the bodies that woke up fast, stayed alert in the dark, and did not fall into a deep, vulnerable sleep when the threat hadn't passed yet. You inherited those bodies. Here is the problem. That ancient system cannot tell the difference between a lion and a difficult email. Dr. Matthew Walker, a neuroscientist and sleep researcher at the University of California, Berkeley, has spent decades studying what he calls the catastrophic global sleep loss epidemic. His research shows that the modern human brain processes psychological stress, social anxiety, financial worry, professional fear, through the exact same neural pathway that processes physical danger. Same amygdala, same cortisol spike, same adrenaline release. Your brain does not distinguish between being chased and being judged. To your hypothalamus, they are identical threats. And threats do not sleep. So when you lie down the night before something high stakes, your amygdala is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is keeping you ready. It is keeping you alert. It has simply miscategorized a job interview as a predator, and it will not stand down until it believes the predator is gone. But the predator never leaves. Because the predator is inside your head, this is where it gets worse. Your body has a second system designed specifically to regulate sleep. It is called adenosine. Think of adenosine as a chemical pressure valve. Every hour you are awake, adenosine accumulates in your brain, building up what researchers call sleep pressure, a growing biological need that eventually becomes so heavy it forces you under. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors. It does not give you energy, it simply plugs the drain so the pressure cannot reach you. When you are relaxed and your cortisol is low, adenosine wins. Sleep takes over. But when your cortisol is elevated, which it is, the night before the thing you are dreading, your stress hormones actively suppress adenosine signaling. The pressure is there. The need is real. But your body has chemically overridden it the way a captain might override a warning alarm because he has decided the alarm is wrong. He is not wrong. But neither are you. Dr. Sonia Lupien, director of the Center for Studies on Human Stress in Montreal, has shown in her research that elevated cortisol does not just delay sleep onset. It reduces the proportion of slow-wave sleep, the deepest, most restorative stage, and increases the proportion of lighter REM cycles. This means that even when you finally do fall asleep under stress, the architecture of that sleep is fundamentally different. Less repair, less memory consolidation, less physical restoration. You wake up tired not because you did not sleep, but because the sleep you got was the wrong kind. Your brain gave you the shallow end. There is a term researchers use for what happens when you are aware that you cannot sleep: sleep effort. And sleep effort is one of the most counterproductive things a human being can do. Think about it this way. Sleep is an involuntary process. You cannot force it. The moment you begin trying to sleep, monitoring yourself, checking the clock, calculating how many hours you have left. You introduce self-directed attention into a process that requires the complete absence of self-directed attention. You are watching yourself try to disappear, and the watching keeps you there. Dr. Daniel Wegner at Harvard University called this ironic process theory. When you try to suppress a thought or force a state of mind, a monitoring process runs in the background, searching for evidence that the suppression has failed. That monitoring process is cognitively expensive. It keeps your prefrontal cortex lit up and active. An active prefrontal cortex is one of the primary barriers to sleep onset. The more urgently you try to stop thinking, the louder the thoughts get. You have felt this. Telling yourself to stop thinking about something is the fastest way to think about it constantly. The body compounds this further through a mechanism called hyperarousal. Researchers who study chronic insomnia have found that people who struggle to sleep don't just have overactive minds. They have measurably higher core body temperatures, faster heart rates, and more active brain metabolism, even when they appear to be lying still. Their nervous systems are running hot. Their baseline level of physiological alertness is chronically elevated, like an engine that never fully idles. In a 1997 study, Dr. Michael Perlis at the University of Rochester used EEG monitoring to show that insomniacs had significantly higher beta wave activity, the fast, alertness-associated brain waves, during sleep than normal sleepers. They were, in a measurable sense, partially awake even while sleeping. Their brains had learned to stay on guard. You might not have clinical insomnia, but on the worst nights, your brain does the same thing. It has decided the situation is too important to let go of. Here is the part that should change how you see it. Your body is not betraying you. It is not broken. The sleeplessness you feel before the hardest nights of your life is the same sleeplessness that kept human beings alive through ice ages, migrations, predators, and wars. It is the same alertness that let your great-great-great-grandmother lie in a dark cave and still notice the sound of something moving outside. That is an extraordinary capability. It became a liability the moment your threats became invisible. The moment the danger stopped being something you could run from or fight and became something that lived inside a to-do list. Your nervous system evolved for a world where threats were physical and temporary. It was never designed for a world where you carry your fears in your pocket and stare at them before bed. So what do? The research points in one direction. Stop fighting. Not because surrender feels good, but because fighting is the mechanism that keeps you awake. Dr. Walker's clinical recommendations, along with established cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, which is now considered more effective than sleep medication in clinical trials, suggest one consistent principle: stop trying to sleep and start trying to rest. They are different things. Rest does not require unconsciousness. It requires stillness and the removal of threat signals. When your body stops receiving danger cues, cortisol drops. When cortisol drops, adenosine resumes its work. Sleep does not have to be forced. It only has to be allowed. Get out of bed if you can't sleep. Sit in dim light. Do something quiet that your brain does not associate with alertness. Come back when the pressure returns. Do not watch the clock. Do not calculate. Do not make sleep your goal for the night, because sleep rejects being pursued. It only arrives when you stop running toward it. Tonight, you might lie down and feel your heart going too fast for no reason. You might feel the thoughts starting to loop. You might feel the specific cruelty of being exhausted and wide awake at the same moment. That is not a malfunction. That is a 2-million-year-old system doing exactly what it was built to do. It just doesn't know that you made it out of the cave.